She is so chill. She's a little cylinder. She's adorable. I love her. She likes to sleep in the crook of your neck sometimes. Not right now, though. Hello, everyone. My name's Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Prairie Purl Knits. This is my knitting podcast where I talk about my knitting, crazy enough. I think I may have said that exact same thing last episode. But also, I don't know, maybe I just said that the last episode I filmed. Because, oh my god, last week I filmed the video twice. The first time I filmed, my camera was facing the wrong way the entire time. And the second time I filmed, I finished filming and the video was 20 minutes long, pre-editing. And I was like, okay, so in other words, I have nothing to say. And I had a busy weekend coming up and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to move the video to next week. And that's what we're doing. And I have so much to discuss today. It has been a very eventful week yarning wise, so I have a lot of acquisitions to show you guys, which will probably be my last for a little bit, and then a lot of progress to show you guys, and I am just generally really excited to go ahead and get into this video. A few of my acquisitions are from my Calgary trip, and then I do have 2 yarn orders that I purchased that both came in this week in the last few days. So I have a number of things to show you guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my FOs, which is what I am currently wearing. This is my Tonight top by Lily Kate France, or Lily Kate Makes, and I love this thing. Oh my goodness, I've worn it so many times already. I've worn it to work. I wore it to go hang out with some friends. I wore it on my Calgary trip. I am just in love with this. It is great in the heat. Even though it is wool, it's knit out of Sanascarn Sunday in the colorway Night Sky, which is the number code 5591. And I just love it so much. It fits great. The only modification that I made to it was I did shorten the neck a little bit. In the pattern, it is a 3-inch neckline, and that just would have been a little bit too high and too long for me. So I did make it, I think, about 1.5 inches, I believe. And I love it. I think it's great. There's a tiny little bit of itchiness and dryness in this, which is something I've always said with this yarn. Every time I've worked with it, every time I've used it, it is a little dry and a little bit crunchy, which does add a little bit of itch to it. I don't have an issue with wool, but this dry wool is kind of weird. It's not irritating. I can wear it next to skin and be totally fine, so it's okay. I'll survive, but that is something to note. I knit this on the size 5 and 3.25 millimeter needles, on 3.25 millimeter needles, which I believe is the recommended needle in the pattern. So it was quite easy. It was a bit of a slog though to get through the body because I did knit the entire body to length. There's a little bit of broken rib detail under the arm, which I'm experiencing mild pilling, nothing that I'm too concerned about yet, but I know before I bring it out again next summer, I'm going to want to depill it. And there, of course, is the double knit armband detail, which I do really like as well. I think it gives it a very nice, clean silhouette. I want to get a black turtleneck to put under this for the fall, because I think that'd just be really, really cute, or just a black crew neck. Otherwise, I think this project is fantastic. I really loved the pattern. I thought it was very well written and well done, and I love this. I've already gotten quite a few wears out of it, and I expect that number to only go up because I really do enjoy this, and I think it goes with a lot of my outfits. It looks great tucked into jeans especially. That's really how I have enjoyed to wear it before. And yeah, I'm really excited to have this. So now we are going to go ahead and get into my works in progress. So the first one that I want to discuss today is my colorwork yoke sweater. And there's so much progress on it and I'm so excited. So here it is. Oh my god, it is wonderful. It is a little bit bunched up on the needles down here, but I've started working a sleeve, and obviously I finished the colorwork yoke. This is the Autumn Alpine sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and it is such a fun pattern to knit. The colorwork was fantastic, and this body flew off the needles. I don't know why it flew off the needles so fast. It was because, I do know why. It's because I had a full cake that I started probably around here-ish in the colorwork, and I was like, I'm just gonna knit till I run out. And I ran out basically when I was done the body and about to start the ribbing for the body. So I still stuck to what I said I was going to do and just went ahead and started a sleeve. And my sleeve tension is a bit tighter than the body. So I'm trying to knit looser because I did notice I was knitting a lot tighter, but I started to put some stitch markers to mark how many rounds I've done, and yeah, I'm really excited to keep working on this one. It is going to be so beautiful. It is knit in Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia, which is 100% wool, and it is in the colorway Boysenberry for the white and Pearl for, oh hello, it is in the colorway Boysenberry for the purple and then Pearl for the white. And again, I love this. I think it's so pretty. I did make a modification for the neckline. In the original pattern, there's some neckline and hem details that I thought looked nice, but were just not something that I wanted in this version of the sweater for me. So I did a 2x2 folded over collar based upon the Sonder Yarn Co version, and I'm going to be doing 2x2 rib on all the other hems as well. I have already tried this on and it is looking great. It is looking great so far, and I'm very excited to keep working on this and have it done. Ideally, by my next podcast episode, I would have both sleeves done. Maybe, possibly. Now I am knitting the size 4. I did have some wonky gauge issues, so the swatch that I made for the colorwork section on 4mm needles was perfect. And then my gauge swatch for the body was way too big on the recommended needle size, which I was already going up 0.5 millimeter for the colorwork. Okay guys, we had a little bit of an interruption. But also, look at my kitten. Her name is Daisy. I love her so much. She is such a sweetheart, except when I'm knitting and she decides that my yarn is her favorite toy and her favorite snack. Or when she decides your fingers are her favorite snack. But you know what? She's a little kitten, so it's okay. She is so cute and sweet and adorable. And I love her so much. She was one of my foster kittens, so I've technically had her since she was 1 week old. And I had to bottle feed her as a little baby. And now she is, I believe, 11 weeks old this Friday. So when this video comes out, she will be 11 weeks old. And she's so cute and funny and adorable, and I love her. But yes, this was the cat news I was hinting at on my last episode. She is so chill. She's a little cylinder. She's adorable. I love her. She likes to sleep in the crook of your neck sometimes. Not right now, though. You can go lay on my couch. My bed. So yes, that was Daisy, and that was the cat news that I had. And she's so cute, and I love her. Either way, back to the sweater. I think I just said about my gauge being messed up on the body section, which I knew from my gauge swatch. And the gauge I was getting, like, you're supposed to get 24 stitches in 4 inches, which with the color work on 4mm needles was fantastic. On the 3.5 recommended in the pattern for the stockinette section, I was getting like 20 stitches, and I was like, this is not going to work. But I went down to a 3mm, swatched again. I was still getting the same stitch count. You know, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to knit the size 4. If it becomes a little bit tighter, that's fine. I'll be fine. It'll just have less ease. But hopefully it'll even out, you know? And I think thus far, like, the color work doesn't really look like it's big. Like, it doesn't look like it's poofed up from the stockinette. So I feel like my gauge is pretty on point, which makes me very happy. So I think this is going to turn out beautifully. I'm very excited to have it and to wear it. And oh, I'm so proud of this one. I literally showed it to a customer at work because we were talking about knitting a little bit, and I was like, do you want to see my sweater? It's so good. And she was like, oh my god, I love that. And I was like, thank you. So yes, when I'm done both sleeves, I'm going to go back to the end of the body and just do the ribbing, probably. I'll try it on again, see how I feel, but yes. There we go. So my next work in progress is my late autumn socks, and I have done quite a bit of work on these. I didn't really touch them for a while, and then I wanted to take them with me to Calgary so I could work on them a lot, and I didn't really. I think I maybe got like not even 2 hours of knitting done on the 6-hour total drive, just because I wanted to sleep in the car, and I wanted to just, you know, have my arm out the window and chill. It was such nice weather, and I just wanted to really embrace the drive. So I didn't get a bunch done on the drive, but I got a bunch done in total. So the last time I think I filmed, I was like here on the leg, possibly, or around there. And so I've done the rest of the leg. I did the heel flap and the gusset, and I'm just working on the leg. So that's where my leg started, and that's where I am, not my leg, my foot. That's where the foot started, and that's where I am now. And I really love the colors and the patterning on the sock. I love that the red ended up just on the heel alone pretty much, and kind of just looks like a contrasting heel, which I think is very cute. So I love that. This is the Zauberball Crazy in the colorway Late Autumn. So once I'm done this sock, I will go ahead and knit the second one. The pattern that I'm using is a 2x2 broken rib. So it's 2 rounds of 2x2 rib and then 2 rounds of stockinette. And I did 40 rows of that for the leg, and then I did a 2x2 rib cuff for 20 rows before that. Slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then I'm just continuing the pattern on the top of the foot and leaving the bottom a simple stockinette, which is really nice to see how this yarn works up as stockinette. I think that's really pretty too. But I think the marling is just so well showcased on the textured side, so I really do like that as well. Now I'm knitting these using Addi Flexi Flips, well, Addi Crazy Trios on 2.25 millimeter, and I really got the hang of these now. Like, I have a method that I enjoy. I don't know if it's gonna fully replace Magic Loop for me. I think it'll just be what kind of mood I'm in, because it's pretty much just like flexible DPNs, which is great, but I don't think it's gonna replace Magic Loop, but it is still really nice. So I think it just depends on what I'm in the mood for to use for knitting socks. But yeah, so got quite a bit of these done, and I'm really excited to keep going on them and have a finished pair of these socks because they are so pretty. And I think once these socks are done, I'll have to finish my Oiler socks from back when I started the podcast. Those ones get done, but after that I think I might go ahead and knit the other Zauberball that I got as well. So that is all of my works in progress, the 2 of them, and now I'm going to go ahead and head into the acquisitions section / the life section. I'm going to start with the yarn that I ordered online and show you guys that stuff, and then I'll talk about my Calgary trip and the yarn that I acquired and the other stuff that I acquired on my trip. So the first yarn that I ordered, I actually ordered this on the 16th of July, but because of a dye lot issue, they emailed me and said, like, there was 3 different dye lots in the 15 balls that I had ordered, and they were like, we can send it to you now, there's no visible difference, but if you want to wait for the next shipment, we can do that. And so I told them, yeah, we'll wait for the next shipment, and they told me it'd be in at the end of July, and the end of July came and went, and I emailed them, and I was like, what's the update on it? And they eventually got back to me, and they said, it'll be a week or 2 before the shipment gets to us, there's been delays. And I was like, okay, I have no choice but to put up with it, because, I mean, it's not their fault. I think it's the fault of the shipping companies in the world and everything, so I'm not gonna get mad about it. But I really did want this yarn. Not even because I'm casting this on immediately, but also I just wanted to have it. And that is this yarn right here. And this is Focolana Peruvian Highland Wool, and it is in the colorway Time. I know that for sure. But on the ball band it says color 221. So, but this yarn, I expected it to be so much itchier than it was. Every time I looked online, like a review or a video about this yarn, everyone was like, oh, it's pretty itchy and all these things, and I'm like, this is totally fine. I love this. I think it's so soft. I like pulled it out of the bag and I was like, this is soft yarn. But I'm so excited to have this. It's 100 meters per 50 grams, so 200 for 100 grams, and it is a worsted weight yarn, and I'm going to use this to knit myself a Louder sweater by Rebecca Clow, or the Crayabea, which is also the same designer for the next sweater that I want to knit after this with the other yarn that I ordered online that we'll talk about in a second. But I'm so excited to knit this. I think just a green cabled sweater is going to be so cute. Very, very throw-onable, but also kind of dressy, and I'm really excited. So very, very excited to have this. And again, I did get 15 balls of it, so 1,500 meters. I already put it away in my yarn area, and it looks very cute. My yarn area is right here. So, which I did move it. It used to be right here in like a metal bin. The metal bin is now my project bin for underneath my desk, and I got like these shelves things for over my desk, and it has a bunch of cubbies. So I just shoved my yarn in the cubbies. But yes, I'm very excited to have this and to knit that sweater. I probably when my autumn alpine is done. So the next yarn that I ordered was a part of the Knitting for Olive Gaza fundraiser. So if you didn't know or you didn't see it, Knitting for Olive did a fundraiser for Gaza where they would donate all their sales in a 24-hour period to UNICEF to give aid to Palestinians. And I saw that and I was like, this is amazing. First off, it's all their sales, not just the profits, which I think is crazy, and it's a huge financial hit for them. But the fact that they're willing to do that is so admirable, and I really, really wanted to take part. I love Knitting for Olive yarn, and I just knew I wanted to take part. And so Rebecca Clow, the Crayabea, posted on her Instagram story all the her upcoming patterns and the yardage requirements for them. So there's one specifically that I knew already that I wanted to knit, and that was the Afric sweater. So of course I saw that sweater and I saw that she posted the yardage requirements for it, and I said I'm going to go ahead and get yarn for that sweater. So I went ahead and got the 4 different colors for the yarn, and this is the selection I made, which I've, since I got it today, actually I picked it up this morning, I took pictures of it and changed it to like a black and white filter to see how the gradient would look, and it's pretty good. These ones are like somewhat similar in value, but not too much where I don't think it'll have any contrast at all. So I think it'll still be really nice. This could be a touch lighter of a brown. I think that might be mildly better, but I'm not gonna go buy more yarn for this project when I don't need to. So I will tell you guys the colorways I got. I got one skein of this color, and this is Coal. I should probably tell you guys what the yarn it is. So this is Knitting for Olive's Heavy Merino, which is 100% merino wool. It is not the same wool that they use for their regular merino yarn. They have like info stuff on their website about it, but this is in the colorway Coal. This is in the colorway Cloud, and both of those I got one skein of. And then my brown is in the colorway Bark, which I got 3 skeins of. And then this really pretty deep wine purple red is in the colorway Bordeaux. So this is going to be the main color. This is going to be like the orange of the original picture. This is going to be that middle center black line, and then this is going to be the normal cream that's also there. So these 2 colors are basically the same as in the pattern sample, and then these 2 colors are going to replace the other ones. I think this color scheme is so pretty and so fall and lovely, and I'm so excited to knit this sweater. Whenever the pattern comes out, it's going to be gorgeous. So now for my Calgary trip, we went on Sunday the 17th and Monday the 18th, and it was generally a very great time. It was probably one of the best road trips I've ever been on because it was so stress-free. We really had we had plans, but we had left home early and we had so much time on the road. Like, we left at 9. We didn't have to be at the winery that we were going to start off our trip until like 1:45, and we got there like exactly on time, even though we had left so early. But that's because we took time to go stop in Red Deer for a little bit and, you know, fill up on gas and get a couple snacks and whatever. Like, we had so much time. It wasn't stressful. We weren't, you know, being like, oh my god, are we gonna make it in time? Oh my god, we really have to speed on this section of road because we might be late. Like, we never had to do that at all during the trip. It was very smooth sailing. The only thing bad that happened the entire trip was we got to the Airbnb and I may have tripped and fallen on a pothole and scraped my knee pretty bad. So that's really fun. It's pretty bruised. The bruise is starting to heal. It's all starting to heal, but that was fun. But when we stopped in Red Deer, I found there was a little yarn store / farmer's market going on. So there's this like big farmer's market called Gasoline Alley Farmer's Market. Gasoline Alley is just like a place in Red Deer that people will drive through on their road trips to like fill up on gas and get snacks and stuff. And there's a little yarn store at this farmer's market, and I was like, I have to go check it out. Now when I got there, I said I wasn't going to buy any yarn because I had no money in the budget to buy that yarn, but I did anyways because I felt like it. Now this is from a very small local Alberta company and mill. This is A&B Fiberworks. I don't even know if you can buy this stuff online or not, probably, but it's probably like, it doesn't even tell you what weight this is. Like, you can figure it out if you know yarn, but like generally there's very little information on here. It tells you that the actual company is based in Linden, Alberta, and the farm that the yarn comes from is from Old Alberta. So very interesting. And this is 70% alpaca, 30% wool. It is a 2-ply, and it is 174 yards or 159 meters per 100 grams. And it is very nice. It is very soft, which normally alpaca and me do not get along, but this one I really like. And it's this really pretty cream color. It was one of the softer yarns that they had. They did have some that were a little bit more itchy and rustic, but generally this one was pretty nice. I've decided to use this for a pair of mittens. I was deciding between mittens or a hat, but I think mittens would just be really cute. And with this yarn being so soft and thick, because it is an Aran weight yarn, just having those like thick Aran weight mittens with wool and alpaca on them would just be really nice and warm in winter. So I've decided, I can't remember what the pattern is called. I'm going to knit these in, but it is a pair of mittens. I'll put it on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and knit those with this. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, but it is only in, I think, Norwegian, Danish, Dutch, and Swedish? Finnish, maybe? Maybe not Dutch. Maybe, I don't think it's Dutch. I think it's Finnish. I don't remember. Either way, it's all in like Northern European countries that I don't know how to speak the languages of. So I don't like AI. Let me get that very clear. But the one thing it comes in handy for sometimes is when you need things translated, and Google Translate is doing a horrible job. Oh my god, I tried to Google Translate it. It was so bad. I was like, this makes no sense. Like, I could understand it because I know how to knit, but like if you just put it in that and that's what you were trying to work from and you didn't know how to knit, you're not getting very far. So I did use AI to help me with that because it's like the one time I've ever seriously used AI for anything, and it was very useful. It's also a free pattern, so it's not like I'm not distributing the pattern. 2, I'm not selling the pattern. I didn't pay for the pattern and then translate it. Like, it's, which then again, if I paid for it, I think I'm allowed to translate it. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and knit those mittens with it. I'm pretty sure it's a broken rib pattern, but they look really cute and cozy. So I should have enough yarn with this to go ahead and knit those mittens. So for the rest of Sunday, we didn't do any more yarn looking at. Went to the winery and it was really beautiful. I will insert maybe a couple pictures or something if I can. And generally it was just such a great time. The people there were so lovely. The staff was fantastic and I was having a blast. The wine was delicious. They had this like really special blue wine, or like it was purple, I guess. That was made with blue bonnets, like the flower. So good. Loved it. And then we got back to the Airbnb and we had a little night just staying in and drinking and playing some video games and stuff with my friend, who I don't get to see very often because we live in different cities and neither of us really travel to the other city very often, so we don't get to see each other very much. But generally, it was really nice to see him. And then the next day we left the Airbnb decently early, so we had some time to kill. We didn't expect to get up so soon, let alone be not as hungover as we were. Like, we expected to be much worse off the next day than we were. I wasn't really hungover at all, so I woke up pretty early and, we cleaned up the Airbnb, we cleaned the tables and the beds and, did everything that we needed to. We packed up and it was like 9:45 and we were just tired of sitting there because we had told my friend that we were going to pick her up at about noon. And so I was like, well, we have nothing else to do. Let's figure something out. So we went to Tim's so my mom could get coffee and I could get a little snack for breakfast. And I just so happens that in the area that my friend that we were going to go pick up lives is a Tim's that is right beside Ancient Arts Yarn Store. And like, we had probably another like 30 minutes to kill between when we needed to leave the area to go pick up my friend after we were kind of just done at Tim's. I was looking at something that we can quickly do, and I see that Ancient Arts Yarn is literally right beside, like it's just across the street. And I was like, well, this is a sign, because I knew they were there, but I didn't think we were going to have a chance to go see them. But we did. So of course I was like, Mom, we're going. And she was like, sure. So we went, and I didn't have money in my budget for more yarn, other than what I had already planned to buy later that day, which has been something I've planned to buy for a while, so I wasn't going to change my mind. But I did still want to buy something anyways, because I felt really bad going in and like taking their time and stuff and just not buying anything, because I know I get so frustrated when people would come into the store that I worked at and they would take 30 minutes to look around and then not buy anything. It's really frustrating. So I did want to buy a little something, and so I went ahead and got this. It's so cute. I saw this right when we came in, and if you know me, you know I love cats. As you can see from earlier, I have now 2 cats, but it's so cute. It's a really nice tote bag. It's very good quality. It has a nice flat bottom, which is great, and then a nice pocket at the front too, which is perfect size to hold a knitting pattern, dare I say. So this is definitely going to be a little project bag for me, and I'm very excited to use it. And then alongside that, I got some more point protectors because I love these things. I just love the fun, cute, kitschy ones. So I got this. Now that I'm looking at this, is this meant to be a dog? No, that's a cat. That's a cat. I got these point protectors that vaguely remind me of Daisy. She's definitely a different color, but also they're the closest ones to one of the cats that they had. So I got these ones, and I'm so excited to have these. Another point protector. I don't think I need more than this point protector wise, but who knows. I think these are just really useful and they really come in handy. So I'm really grateful to have another pair. So then when we picked up my friend, we ended up going to Stash Needle Lounge, I believe is what it's called. I can never remember if it's Stash Yarn or Stash Needle Lounge. One of the two. And we browsed, and it was a very nice store. There's a siren going on. Sorry if you can hear that, but I can't help it. I live very close to a fire station and a police station. Oh, it stopped, which means they pulled someone over very close by. Love that. But I went ahead and picked up this yarn. I looked around at all their yarn, but I really knew this is what I wanted to try. And this is Yarn Citizen, their Unity worsted base. in the color Graphite. This is a smaller yarn company, and it is 100% wool. It's made in Peru. It is 192 meters per 100 grams. It is a worsted weight yarn, and it is very pretty. I was initially looking at the colorway Granite that they have, which is just a slightly lighter gray than this. But I was asking my friend, I was like, do you think this color is better, or do you think the lighter gray is better? Because I saw this and I was like, this might be a better choice. And she said this one. So I went ahead and went to pick this one. And I'm deciding to knit a Un sweater. I don't know how to pronounce it. I keep trying to figure out how to pronounce it, but like everyone pronounces it differently, and I just need November Knits to like post something where she pronounces it properly, because I don't know. I feel like I'm looking at all the wrong places because I can not figure it out. But it's this like super pretty, like modern, just like super high split hem with a bunch of ribbing, and it's a raglan. It just looks so good, and I'm so excited to have one. And I went ahead and got, ooh, how many of these did I get? 7 skeins of this stuff. And of course, as soon as I got home, I had to swatch. How can I not swatch? Because I've already decided that this is going to be my next cast on, I believe, sometime within the next week. I bought the pattern. I have the yarn prepared, so whenever I feel the urge to just go ahead and get myself casted on, I will. But I did swatch. I did a fake in the round swatch with like the loops at the end, and my gauge is 1 stitch smaller. But based on the schematic in the pattern, I will still get 8 inches of positive ease knitting the size 5 at this gauge. So I should be fine to knit with this gauge. And I also feel like if I did knit it with any looser of a gauge, it would just be too loose for me and what I'd be comfortable with, because it'd be probably a little bit sheer. And I don't want to deal with that. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with this gauge, and this is just on the recommended 5mm needles. So yes, in the next podcast episode, you'll probably see this casted on, and I'm really excited to have it. This yarn is very slick and smooth. It's the only way I can describe it. It low-key feels like you're working with an acrylic, but if it wasn't squeaky, like it's very tightly spun. It's very smooth. It's not very fuzzy. It's just like really nice and crisp to the touch, but not in a dry way. It doesn't feel dry. It just feels like smooth, and I really like that. I definitely see myself using this yarn again for a different project at some other point, because it is very nice. It's not rustic or like itchy or anything, so I wouldn't use it for color work, because if you're doing color work, you want a yarn that's going to be able to stick to itself decently well. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this and to knit that sweater up. It's going to be really nice and fast too, because 5mm needles when your last 2 projects have been on 3 or 3.25mm needles, this is going to go so fast. Like I was looking at the body circumference stitches, and that is like literally 65 stitches less than the stitches on the circumference of my autumn alpine sweater, and my autumn alpine sweater has a lot less ease. It's gonna be like max 4 inches of ease. This is gonna be 8 inches of ease, and it's still like 65 stitches less. So it's gonna feel like a breeze, and I'm so excited. But yes, I had such a great time on my trip, and I'm so excited to have gotten all the yarn that I did. I'm pretty set for sweater yarn for a while, and I have some accessories that I really like to knit and everything, so I'm very overall pleased with the trip and all my acquisitions today. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day. That is everything that I have to share with you guys. Hopefully I will be back in about 2 weeks to share some more updates on my projects and everything with you guys, and I will see you guys then. Bye! Oops, I realized that I forgot to mention that 1, my Instagram is Prairie Purl Knits, 2, my Ravelry is Alyssa is Bored, and 3, everything that I mentioned is going to be linked down below. So like project pages, pattern pages, anything will be linked down below. The websites of the yarn stores, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm gonna get back to knitting my new cast on.